Mondi, we're here.
Hey,
We're
what's
back.
up?
What was that?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah. News, reviews, updates, tidbits, factoids.
Yeah,
Let's do it. A lot of things to
let's do it.
discuss.
A lot. I think some fun things to discuss today. Some fun things in the
Yeah.
future. Well, we have the season 2 starting 5 official roster. So for those who don't know, starting 5 is a documentary on Netflix. Followed 5 NBA players last year. It was really I liked it. Julian thought it was just okay. It's followed LeBron, Tatum, Anthony Edwards, DeMontis Sabonis, and Jimmy Butler. We have the roster for the next season, which will be filming this year and coming out, I believe, sometime next year.
Yep.
And that roster will be, which I called out 3 of these, I believe: Jaylen Brown, Kevin Durant, Shea, Tyrese Halliburton, and James Harden. So I remember when we pitched our season 2, I wanted Shea and I wanted KD. So I got 2 out of the 5. So
yeah. Sorry to snooze fest, boring. Who gives a fuck? Like, holy shit!
It's not one player that kind of excites you.
Kevin Durant only.
Okay.
Bro, like I don't care about none of these niggas. I'm sorry.
You don't want to see Tyrese in the snow, playing in the snow?
No, I don't want to see him with a whole bunch of white bitches. I don't care about Shea in fucking Canada. I damn sure don't give a fuck about Jaylen Brown and how he hates Nike and how Team USA don't want him. And who's the other guy?
James Harden.
Oh my God. Strip clubs and bottles, please.
Little
bro,
baby, that sounds exciting.
No, I'm cool. No, they should have got Zion. They should have got Ja. They should have got Joker or Luka. Somebody that's actually fucking exciting. But here we are. Tyrese Halliburton.
Are you gonna be watching?
Cool. I mean, of course I'm gonna watch it,
Okay,
but like,
yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be as average or as boring as the part 1 was. So we'll see.
Speaking of documentaries, Kanye has a new documentary coming titled "In Whose Name." The project reportedly had $1 billion budget and was filmed over the past 6 years. It's set to release sometime next year. His first documentary that came out last year or 2 years ago, Genius, I thought that was an amazing documentary. They had whoever recorded that, one of his friends had the foresight to record his like early life up until his success, which is just a crazy idea. I'm not sure if they can capture that same kind of, awesomeness in this new documentary, but we'll see. Did you watch Genius?
I didn't. Didn't care. Sorry. Don't care about this either.
Isn't it cool to think about? Like, I don't know, just his friend had the foresight to be like, hey, I'm gonna record you. Even when he was like, didn't he make it like making beats? Yep. And we followed his life up until he was like Kanye. I thought it was really cool. So
man, that was cool.
I don't know how a documentary can have $1 billion budget, but I'll see where that money going, I guess. Outer Banks has been renewed for a 5th and final season on Netflix.
This show won't die. But, hey, Mondi, it's your show, ain't it?
It's my show. I got a review for it coming up soon for the new season 4.
Okay.
So yeah, 5th and final season for Outer Banks.
Got it.
Macaulay Culkin has been cast in Fallout Season 2. He will play a crazy genius type character. If you look at him now, that it totally fits. Nigga looks the same. So I was a fan of Fallout Season 1. I really liked the lore. It was really, really cool. It caught me by surprise, to be honest. I didn't think I'd like it at all, but I'm here for Fallout Season 2 and to see Macaulay Culkin. Why not?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the hardcores didn't like this at all, but I think you liked it, but you're not exposed to it at all. Like this is kind of like your first venture to it. Yeah. But yeah, look. Anyway, shout out to Macaulay Culkin. Like you said, he looks nuts now, so cool. But hey, he's with Brenda Song, so her fine ass. So cool.
Sophie Turner, for those who don't know, Sansa from Game of Thrones, has been eyed in the running to potentially play Lara Croft in the live-action Tomb Raider series. Any thoughts on her? Can she pull it off?
Talk about another franchise that will not die. How many Tomb Raiders? Like, are we just gonna do Tomb Raider in perpetuity? Like,
it's like a James Bond type property, I guess. Like, not like to that level of success, but like it's like
I was about to say, like
it's somebody you can just keep on casting for years and years and keep doing different series. Yeah,
that seems to be what Hollywood thinks. Can Sansa Stark? That's not her name. Sophie Turner. Can she do this? Sure. Just like every other person who's done this, and like the movie's just been mediocre at best. Am I expecting anything from this movie with Sophie Turner? No. Do I want to see Sophie Turner in this series? No. Sorry.
To me, I say hell no. Only because I've always imagined Lara Croft, whether it be the video games or even in the shows and movies, to be a person of color, not black, but like maybe some other kind of like Angelina Jolie. Like, what is she? Black, white, Italian?
Angelina Jolie is a white woman.
It's like a TikTok sound, but she looks ethnically anyway, but she doesn't look like just white, does she?
Yes.
She doesn't.
Like, I've literally never thought of Angelina anything else but a white woman.
Really? Okay. Well, she has like the full lips anyway. But even we had Alicia Vikander who played her in the movies. She just always looks like really tan. Like just to have pale ass Sophie Turner come in and try to be Lara Croft. To me, it doesn't fit the aesthetic of what Tomb Raider is. But I could be wrong. So yeah, y'all let me know.
Okay. Yeah, anyway, let him know, please.
Yeah, please let me know. No one ever does. John Krasinski will return to star as Jack Ryan in a new movie for Amazon. I know he has a successful Jack Ryan series on Amazon Prime, so they're making a movie out of it. Obviously, I hear people talk good things about it. I've just never checked it out. I am a fan of John Krasinski, but yeah.
Yeah, shout out to him, but same.
Zendaya is now set to star in Christopher Nolan's next film, coming out alongside her hubby or her boyfriend Tom Holland and Matt Damon. So yeah, they'll be working on Spider-Man 4 together and this new movie. So couples in real life having that, that extra screen time, extra face time in real life, I guess, whatever. But more importantly, Christopher Nolan has also assembled a lot of other actors to sign on to this movie, and Hathaway being one of them. Like actors they love being in Christopher Nolan movies. Like Matt Damon, remember when Oppenheimer, he was like, yeah, I'm retired or I'm taking a break with my wife. And he was like, oh, well, Chris Nolan called. I got to do this movie. It's like playing for like Nick Saban if you're in college football, or playing for like Coach Pop if you're in the NBA. Like you don't miss opportunities to work with Christopher Nolan whenever you can. So I wonder if Tom Holland had anything to kind of do with that. And when he got signed on, hey, you mind bringing on Zendaya? He was like, well, I need a person of color. Come on, bitch.
Anyway. You're probably very close to what that conversation actually happened out to be. So, yeah,
he did have a movie though. People always talk about how he never had people of color in his movies. He did have a movie with Tenet starring John David Washington, in which the nigga didn't even have a name. His name was the protagonist. So yes, thank you, Christopher Nolan, for that representation. Love that. We have a live action Lego Ninjago movie in the works at Universal. To me, this is just confusing at the term live action Lego. I'm not putting those two words together. I can't picture that in my mind. But at this point, Lego is just, they can do anything. They can do no wrong. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
Isn't the Lego for Real movie out?
It is, and I saw it a couple weeks ago. And I walked out.
You
listen, not even because it was bad. I just I saw the vision. I appreciated it for what it was, but I was like, I don't need to sit through this. You know what? That brings up my next point. As I get older, I'm starting to become more like you. Like, I mean,
hey man,
I'm like you, I will give more things a chance just because I love movies. I love being surprised in the theater. But I've walked out of like 5 movies this year, and prior to this year, I maybe walked out of like 3 movies in my entire life. So I walked out of the John Krasinski movie. And like, it's not even because the movies are always bad. It's just because, like you said, time is valuable. I'm like, do I care to watch the rest of this movie? I walked out of the new Tom Hanks movie here. I saw that last week. Or no, this week. No, that was actually bad. So yeah, I will walk out of a movie now. So yeah,
love it. I love that for you. I love it. Take your power back, bitch.
yeah. It all started with Jupiter Ascending. Fuck you,
damn. What's the first movie I've ever walked out of? I don't even remember. Whatever. Keep going. Sorry.
No, a movie about the Trump assassination attempt is being discussed with JFK director Oliver Stone. I guess Oliver Stone just likes making movies about presidents getting off or almost getting off. That's
like, finally, we got another one. Okay.
To me, it's just so crazy how timely everything is. Like, these niggas will make a movie out of anything.
Yeah. People are going to go see it. There's diehard Trump supporters out there, whether we want to believe that or not. So
the nigga lived and he's president. I guess that's the end of the movie.
What you mean? Yeah, like that's a great story to them. So let's do it.
Like I remember when they made the movie last year about the GameStop stocks rising. I'm like, yeah, these niggas will make a movie about anything.
I mean, there was a movie about the hot Cheeto formula. So
which I watched, which wasn't bad actually.
There you go.
Yeah, but yeah. A new Fear Street movie is in the works, releasing next year on Netflix. I don't know if you remember the Fear Street trilogy on Netflix. Yeah. I watched all 3 of them. I thought they were all super mediocre as hell. I know there are fans of them. Do you enjoy these movies?
I think I only watched the first one, and I don't really remember it. I mean, I remember it being fine, but like I don't remember much from it.
Yeah, the first one's set in modern day. The second one is like in like the 70s, 80s, and the third one's like when the Pilgrims were here. But people seem to like these movies, I guess. So cool. I'll probably be skipping all those. I thought these movies just the epitome of mediocre, in my opinion. Orphan 3 is officially in the works with Isabel Furman will return as Esther.
Come on, bro.
I've never seen these movies. I know the gimmick is that she's this woman who's playing a child, but have you ever watched the Orphan movies?
I have not. No. There's no need for a story. I haven't watched them. Not watching this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're good or not. I haven't really heard anything about it, but yeah.
Just because a movie has 3 movies doesn't mean it's good, guys. Take
Very
note.
true. Fear Street.
Yeah.
Okay. Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and Sean Levy, director of Deadpool and Wolverine, are working together on a new film. This is not involved in the MCU. I guess these niggas just love working together so much. So for fans of Deadpool and Wolverine, or Sean Levy fans, or Hugh Jackman fans, Ryan Reynolds fans, you guys have more of that trio coming together. You miss me with that.
Woohoo! Yeah. I mean, depending on what kind of movie it is, I may check it out. But like my expectations, my expectations are going to be in hell, as Monty would say. Like, but then again, yeah, we'll see. It depends on the kind of movie it is. We'll see.
Well, let's discuss something that you're probably excited for, which is Jumanji 3. Comes out in theaters December 11th, 2026.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's going to be a new level unlocked, I guess. Yay. Jumanji's back.
I don't care what you say. These little movies are what they are. They're fun, and I enjoy these fun movies. So cool.
I'm glad you love those movies. Ridley Scott
can enjoy them, but all right, cool. Love, cool.
Ridley Scott confirms he's developing a new Alien film. This caught me by total surprise. I'm like, wait, I thought we were done with his movies, but I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's going to be a continuation of Prometheus and Alien Covenant, if it's a whole new thing. Is it in line with the Romulus shit? I don't know, but it's just very, very cool that he's back.
History says this will be a direct sequel to Alien 1, and Sigourney Weaver is going to be back, and she's going to be 50 years older. She's going to be, like that's what history says is going to happen. So we'll see. But
wait, have you actually heard that?
No, nigga. I'm just saying, like, based on what they did with Halloween, what they did with Terminator, like, but I mean, it's all about making direct sequels to something that happened, all those years ago. So.
Yeah, it's interesting because we know the Fede Alvarez Alien Romulus has been confirmed for a sequel, so that it won't be in his it's all the same continuity, but not in his little timeline of events. I wonder if he'll just end it off the Alien Covenant trilogy. I don't know.
We'll see.
But I love that. I love that he's back. I mean, this is his world. He knows it best. A new Godzilla movie has been greenlit, directed by Takashi Yamazaki, director of Godzilla -1. He's been saying he got like a lot of offers on the table from big directors. He met with Kevin Feige. It's implied he had an MCU movie on the table. We don't know for sure. He said, no, I want to do this, which takes a lot of balls for him. But shout out to him.
Well, we don't know that he said no to Kevin Feige.
Yeah, we don't know, but yeah.
He could still very well be doing that. But the fact that he wants to do another Godzilla film and he's being allowed to is fucking awesome. For anybody that hasn't seen Godzilla -1, guys, it's literally one of the best movies I've seen in maybe 5 or 10 years. It's on Netflix right now. You need to watch this movie. It's very, very good. And I can't wait for the sequel. I mean, I'll be there opening fucking night. Can't wait.
Do you want him fighting another kaiju or kaiju this time around, or do you want to just keep it grounded, I guess, grounded as Godzilla can be?
That's interesting. I don't know. I mean, the best part about -1 was the human element, which is never a good part in any type of monster flick. So, I mean, if they just revert to Godzilla fighting, Mothra or whatever, or King Ghidorah, then I'd like to see it. but like, how would that differ from what they're doing in the MonsterVerse already? So I don't know. I think he has to keep it somewhat grounded.
Agreed. I think he'll definitely keep the human element. I mean, it wouldn't make sense to just abandon that completely. So yeah. Another bit of surprising news, which is insane to me, is a Game of Thrones movie is in the works at Warner Brothers. There's no director or writer currently attached to the movie, but just the idea of seeing Westeros on the silver screen is just, I'm here for it. I don't care what time period we're in. Let's fucking do it.
I really hope that this is the Jon Snow sequel that was supposedly canceled or shelved or whatever the case may be. Hopefully they can continue what we saw in actual, like, the Game of Thrones series, and this isn't something else entirely. I would love to see Aegon the Conqueror like come and conquer Westeros, but if we're going to continue what this journey that we've been through, then I need my guy. Like, I need Kit Harington. I need Jon Snow. I need him on the silver screen. He fucking deserves it. So hopefully that's what it is. But that remains to be seen. So we'll see. But Game of Thrones been on the big screen. Holy fuck! Like, yeah.
Imagine hearing that score and Dolby.
Yeah. Oh man.
So a Game of Thrones movie has been announced. I have a question for you, and well, you already kind of answered it. I have a question for fans of Game of Thrones. Would you guys rather see Kit Harington's Jon Snow movie being continued after season 6 or after season 8 on the big screen? Would you guys rather see Aegon's Conquest on the big screen? Which one would you guys rather see? I think both would be super intriguing. I'd definitely be here for both, but yeah, I think that's a really good question.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. Ki-Hoo Kwan, your boy, will star as the lead in a new action thriller titled Fairy Tale in New York from Sisu director. Guys, if you have not watched Sisu, I don't think you've seen this, Julian. It came out last year from the producers of John Wick. It's an amazing revenge flick. It's like John Wick level. So good. Anyway, the film follows a cab driver who takes one last ride before celebrating the holidays until he must relentlessly pursue criminals who have stole his kid's priceless Christmas gift. So sounds like a little hokey little action movie, which I'm totally here for. As Ki-Hoo Kwan's lane, I guess. I don't know his lane yet. But yeah, I'm just, this guy has got 2 starring roles in 2 years. I love that for him. I'm so excited. So yeah.
I think this is the, like, I don't think it's 2 roles. I think like this is the action movie. Like whatever action movie with Marshawn Lynch that we were talking about last pod, I think this is that very same film.
No, it's not, because that film has a title. I forgot what it's called. I remember I showed you. Well, I did a trailer review 2 pods ago. This is called Fairy Tale New York. This has the title. This is something totally different. In that movie, he's a real estate agent. This movie, he's a cab driver.
Great. All right. Well, yeah, this sounds like Jingle All the Way, which is the greatest Christmas movie of all time. I'm sorry this Christmas, but I have to be true to my heart. So yeah, I'll be there opening night.
All right. Another bit of crazy news. A lot of crazy news dropping this pod. The Wayans brothers will reunite for the first time in 18 years to develop Scary Movie reboot. Now, it's unconfirmed whether it can be a reboot or Scary Movie 6. I don't think that's really clear yet. But
that doesn't matter.
What do you think about this?
Yeah, I don't think that matters. And I mean, like, I think that it's so funny. Like, we've been talking about this for like a year, like maybe even longer. The fact that parodies have just completely disappeared from the theater space. And look, towards 2006, 2012, maybe it was for a good reason, because those last few years of them were just god awful, abysmal. Like, you shouldn't have wasted your time going to the theater to see them. It got to the point where like they were just coming out direct to DVD. And for anybody that doesn't know, that's like the lowest of the fucking low. Like Mike 2 Street Ball, bitch. Like, it's like the lowest of the fucking low.
So Yard Homecoming. Ugh.
Oh Jesus. So anyway, yeah. The fact that the Wayans brothers are coming back and they're fucking ready to do this again. These guys are the pioneers of it. And for anybody that thinks that they can't do it, I urge you to go watch a Haunted House 1 and 2 with Marlon Wayans, bro. Those are so fucking good and hilarious. They still have it, and I'm super excited for what they're going to do for the Scary Movie franchise. I mean, I don't know, like, are they going to get Anna Faris and Regina Hall back? I don't know. I mean, they're so old at this point, but I'm sure that they'll have something to do. I don't know if they can star. Everybody seems to think that Melissa Barrera would be perfect, but I don't necessarily. And who?
I've been seeing Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera come back since they got booted from Scream.
I don't
fuck you to Scream.
Yeah, but they can have a moment, but like, do I want them leading the franchise? I don't think so. I think both of them are just too important to like lead this franchise. So hopefully, they can find the next Cindy or the next Brenda. But yeah, man, I'm super excited for this. This is really a dream come true. Like, I've been really wanting this for years now, so I love it.
Yeah, you've been saying that, and I think I might be in the minority. I think this is one of those things that sounds really good on paper, but my only fear is that they're out of touch. I mean, you just said that they weren't with the Haunted House movies, but those were over a decade ago, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they have, because I feel like the appeal of scary movies is that you have your finger on the pulse of what's currently going on in horror, and I think they did back then. I don't know. Maybe these guys are film buffs, and they are watching Hereditary, and they're watching Get Out. I'm not sure, but I feel like if these are just 2 old guys trying to get back into it, I don't know if they'll have that same kind of magic that the old scary movies had. I don't know.
Okay.
But I'd lean towards them not having their finger on the pulse of current horror movie landscape. Like, are you thinking watching all the Jason Blum movies that we hate, that we keep making fun of, like the Annabelles? I don't know, but we'll see.
We will
see. And lastly, in terms of what's coming out and what's not coming out, the Fantastic Beasts franchise has officially been confirmed to not return. I think this is kind of sad to me. I mean, I mean, I don't. It's funny, like I haven't watched a single Fantastic Beasts movie more than once.
Right.
But when I watch them, I'm just happy to be back in the Wizarding World. I like the movies for what they are. So I think they ended up the last one on a pretty interesting note with the whole Grindelwald versus Dumbledore kind of final confrontation, which I would have loved to see play out in live action. But I get it. Nobody watches these movies, so and
they don't.
They don't make any money.
They don't.
Let's talk some DC, Marvel, Star Wars news. Joaquin Phoenix reveals that Christopher Nolan approached him to play the Joker in The Dark Knight. Joaquin Phoenix's quote was, "I wasn't ready then."
Thank you.
What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, thank you. Do I believe that conversation ever happened, like at any point ever? No, I don't. I literally don't believe it. But okay. If it did, thank you for turning down the role, because Heath Ledger gave us the performance of a lifetime. And based on what you've done with the character, I don't think you could have done it. So, Heath Ledger.
Anyways, I don't think he would say that because both parties are alive to confirm whether or not that happened or not. Both him,
actors lie all the time, bro.
But he dropped Christopher Nolan's name, so like Nolan can be like, I didn't say that shit, or that never happened. So I don't think he would say that if Christopher Nolan couldn't deny or confirm. But I do think obviously Heath Ledger's performance was amazing, history, whatever. But I mean, Joaquin Phoenix, maybe this was meant to be because he proved he could be a very competent Joker. People were saying he's on the same level as almost the same level as he after the first Joker movie. This new one wasn't received very well, but I think that things happen for a reason. I think he's still an amazing Joker. So yeah. Tom Welling says that they are still trying to pitch a Smallville animated sequel series to Warner Brothers. And he says, Warner Brothers, I'm not hating on them. They just haven't gotten back to us. It's not a priority for them. It's not like a returning phone calls thing. So I didn't watch Smallville. You do, so I'll let you speak on this and your excitement or not excitement for this.
I mean, what's there to be excited about? He's openly saying that Warner Brothers doesn't give a fuck about a Smallville series. So,
I mean, the potential of it'd be an animated sequel. So
yeah, we talked about this already. I mean, sure, I would love if it could happen, but it sounds like the people that hold the keys don't give a fuck about this happening. So, okay, great.
On the Marvel side of things, an Agent Venom movie is reportedly in the works at Sony. For those who don't know, Agent Venom in the comics is this time Flash Thompson gets the symbiote. Flash Thompson is Peter Parker's bully. I just want Sony and Venom. I just want Sony to just go bankrupt and just be found out for a Ponzi scheme and get shut down.
Well, that means no more Spider-Man too. So let's pump the brakes.
No, they can because in their bankruptcy they have to sell to Disney just to say.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, this is crazy though. I mean, they promised us that we were done with the Tom Hardy Venom. So like, there's a loophole. Agent Venom. I said, oh my god. So,
yeah. Mondi, for years I have listened to you hate Sony, and rightfully so. I now realize, because how can they just keep getting away with this? How can they just keep getting away with this? Yeah. We're still getting a Silver Sable movie, by the way, but we're also getting this Kraven film that has been so poorly promoted that I literally forget that it exists. It's coming out in next month, bro. It's supposed to come out in December. Like it's been so poorly promoted, it's crazy. Like it's crazy how poorly this film's been promoted by Sony, and it's
Sony
weird.
Dropped 3 movies this year. Yeah, Madam Web, Venom 3, and they're all
crazy.
Probably going to be horrible.
Yeah. So,
oh my god.
Yeah. This is probably a stupid question. I'm assuming you're going to go see, of
course,
Kraven. You're going to go watch it. Okay. Yeah. I probably am too, unfortunately. No, I mean, I feel like I have to, because like Venom 3 was different. I saw 2 of those movies and I was like, wait a minute, like I'm not doing this again. At least this is something totally different. I was at fucking Madam fucking Web opening night like a dumbass. Yeah. So, and I watched it again on Netflix.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. You're right.
I do like Aaron Taylor Johnson though, so maybe he'll be enough to. We'll see. I started thinking about Tom Hardy and Venom, so
we will see.
Star Wars side of things. George Lucas originally planned to switch the names of Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn in The Phantom Menace. His quote was, "For a time, the older Jedi was named Obi-Wan and the younger Jedi was named Qui-Gon. It was very poignant that at the end, as Obi-Wan dies and Qui-Gon defeats Darth Maul and stays as his master as he passes away, he not only takes the master's quest, but also takes his name as well, Qui-Gon. So he wanted Obi-Wan to be Qui-Gon, and then when Obi-Wan died, Qui-Gon would take Obi-Wan's name, and that's how he became Obi-Wan. He said that's why when you see Alec Guinness in A New Hope, he puts his hood down and goes Obi-Wan. Now, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. But anyway, that's an interesting tidbit to me, in my opinion, for Star Wars fans out there. I'm glad it didn't happen that way. That would have been super confusing having two Obi-Wans. But I understand the thing behind it. But what are your thoughts on that?
I have literally no thoughts, Monty. I'm so sorry. I sometimes I wish I cared about Star Wars as much as you do, but I just don't, and I'm not going to pretend like I do.
That's fair. Well, this is pretty interesting news for Star Wars as well. Star Wars episodes 10 through 12 are reportedly in the works. Simon Kinberg is set to write these movies. Now, for those who don't know Simon Kinberg's work, let me tell you what it is. Well, first of all, he co-created Star Wars Rebels, so I guess kudos for that. But he wrote Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Yeah, great. Yes. X3, The Last Stand.
Love that movie.
Days of Future Past. I think that's a really good X-Men movie. Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix. So
okay, Apocalypse, baby.
He wrote and The Killer's Game, which came out this year with Dave Bautista. Oh my God.
Bautista, yeah.
So he's writing the trilogy. And
hey man, nobody bats 1,000. Come on.
It's true. And also, writers' visions don't always get seen as because the directors have to like.
Very
anyway,
true.
He's writing the new trilogy, and some insiders think that it may be a start to a new saga instead of continuing the Skywalker saga. So if that's so, would it still be called episode 10, 11, and 12? Don't know. But
I also saw reports that just because it doesn't feature them as like the leads or the focal of the story doesn't mean that there's not going to be plot elements in there about the Skywalkers, which is why they can still call it 10, 11, and 12. I'm going to try not to get super excited or even like think about this honestly, because stuff when it comes to Star Wars, especially when it's like bottom of the barrel news like this, it's just like, bro, like this could change tomorrow. Like literally, like this is like so fluid to me. And until I see fucking Star Wars or Kathleen Kennedy talk about it, I mean, then I'll be excited. But this little deadline reported, okay, sure. But Monty, please, as the resident super fan, tell me how excited you are about 10, 11, and 12. And what do you want?
I'm not going to say I'm not excited because obviously, I love Star Wars. Just to be able to see on the big screen is always a pleasure. But
yes,
I don't trust Disney, bro. They've lost my trust completely. I don't trust Disney with Star Wars anymore. Now, of course, they have bright spots, Mandalorian, Rogue One, but I just don't trust them, bro. And like the fact that they would even do the original nine episodes, 7, 8, 9 without any kind of cohesive vision from the start is just insane to me. To be $1 billion corporation and know that Star Wars is beloved by people and just to kind of go as you see fit was weird to me. So hopefully they'll course correct with this. But even so, man, with the Acolyte and with Obi-Wan and Mandalorian season 3, Ahsoka, I don't trust them. So they have to prove me wrong. So yeah.
I mean, but you don't hate those shows. They're just
they
just disappoint.
Okay. Ahsoka was just okay. Right. Obi-Wan was just okay. But that's the thing. Like Star Wars should never just be okay. Like Star Wars is peak. Like I don't. I'm getting mad. Okay. Let's talk some trailers. Let's talk some trailers.
All right. Okay.
Also, I don't like what Disney's doing with Marvel either. Fuck. So Disney, I'm not happy with Disney at all right now. Not a lot of trailers today, but we have the trailer for season 2 of Squid Game has been released. Comes out December 26th, so not too far into the future.
Yeah.
Big fan of Squid Game season 1. I didn't watch this trailer. I want to go into it as blind as possible with all the new games and stuff. I've been seeing a lot of people online say this looks like it's not needed at all. Like, why would this nigga go back into the Squid Game? That's insane. Same kind of thoughts I remember when Hunger Games 2 came out. For those who hadn't read the books, they're like, why would Katniss do Hunger Games again? So maybe it's one of those situations where it makes sense within the plot for him to be doing it again. So we'll see. We have the trailer for Dear Santa. This is a new movie starring Jack Black as Satan. The basic plot of the film is a kid writes a letter to Santa, but he spells Santa wrong and spells it Satan. And then Jack Black, who is Satan, gets the letter and he comes disguised as Santa. One of those little comedies coming out this month, 25th of November on Paramount Plus. And boy, does it look like it. What are your thoughts on this trailer?
That was my tagline, coming out on Paramount Plus, and boy, does it look like it. You know what? If I was 10, I'd probably be like, wow, Mom, like I want to go see this stupid Jack Black movie. I'm not 10 anymore, man. I'm sorry. Jack Black, I love you. And to be honest, this looks like it could have like kooky elements that would like, get me excited or make me laugh or whatever the case may be. But I'm not going to watch this. Like, I'm not wasting my life watching this movie. I'm sorry.
Totally agree, man. Love Jack Black. Paramount Plus, you will not get me again. You got me with Knuckles, bitch. You're not getting me again. You're not getting me again. Okay. Great marketing.
That's all it fucking took, boy.
Yeah, the trailer for the new movie titled Unstoppable, starring Jarrell Jerome and Jennifer Lopez, has been released, coming out on Prime Video on January 16th.
Based on a true story.
Wrestler, one leg, beastie-eyed, sports movie. What are your thoughts?
Mm-hmm. You know, Monty, during the first 30 seconds of this, I was rolling my eyes. I'm not going to lie. I was just like, here we go again. Like, you know, typical David meets Goliath type situation. Obviously, he's going to overcome the odds. You know, it's going to be happy and feels at the end. Cool. But I won't lie. Towards the end of the 2-minute runtime of the trailer, I was like, you know what? I might give this a shot. Like, obviously, the plot is the plot. Like, yeah, like he has to beat the odds. Like, he has to overcome his disability. And you know, but I think like what really kind of sold me on this was, I guess, like the impact after it looked like he would have, which is cool to see. So I'm not saying that I'm excited for this or that I'm going to watch this as soon as it drops, but this is actually a good trailer, and I think that this could probably have some decent performances in it, especially for Jennifer Lopez, who I'm a fan of. So I'll watch this.
Yeah, I mean, sports movies have a pretty formula that we all know.
Yep.
But if there's any selling point of this trailer, which, like you said, will make me probably want to watch this movie, is number one, Jarrell Jerome, who is an amazing actor. For those who haven't seen When They See Us, Moonlight, he's a phenomenal, one of the best working actors today, in my opinion, under 30. And J-Lo, she's actually, I've always said this, she's a very good actress. So if anything, I watch this just because of those performers in it. So yeah, we'll see. Let's talk some video game news, guys. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is the biggest Call of Duty launch of all time, according to Microsoft CEO. Highest number of players on launch day, most Game Pass subscribers in a single day. PlayStation and Steam saw a 60% increase in sales compared to Modern Warfare 3. So, what are your thoughts on this?
Predictable. It's Call of Duty. I mean, they release a game every year, and every year it does great. That's why they can release a game every year. So this doesn't surprise me. People love the Black Ops series, so great.
Speaking of records being broken, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has now sold over 35 million copies, highest selling fighting game ever of all time. This surprised me. I mean, I thought it'd be like a Mortal Kombat or something like that. But what are your thoughts?
This is kind of crazy. I think, I mean, I guess it's just like kind of like the state of the world. Like, first of all, this game has been out for like 10 fucking years. First of all, yeah, like it has a very long shelf life and a very long cycle. Whereas, you know, Mortal Kombat 1 had a 3-year span, then Mortal Kombat 2, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, but still, like, I don't know, like the Nintendo Switch is just selling its ass off. It's way cheaper than the PS5 or the Xbox. And I don't know. I guess it's just people love to play these games when they're like local, like when they're together. Yeah. So shout out to Smash Bros. I mean, I can believe it.
I think another thing is too that it appeals to everyone. Kids can play it, adults play it. People who grew up playing Smash Brothers who are now adults, like maybe Mortal Kombat is just for like a certain demographic of people who are kind of older. Maybe do kids play Mortal Kombat? I don't know.
I did when I was a kid, so I mean, I'm assuming that the kids now do, but what do I know? I don't know.
Yeah. Hogwarts Legacy sequel is now in development. The game is coordinating storyline. This is the weird part to me. The game is coordinating storylines with the upcoming Harry Potter HBO series.
What I'm not sure what that meant. I kind of just brushed over that.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Who cares? That's irrelevant. The fact is, Hogwarts Legacy 2 is coming, bitch. And so whenever Harry Potter news like this drops, I absolutely love to just look at the comments, because inevitably people are like, stop supporting this, J.K. Rowling. Like, J.K. Rowling, like, do you want her to get more money? J.K. Rowling. And like, it just cracks me up, because y'all think, do y'all not understand how big of a property Harry Potter is? She's forever going to capitalize off this. Forever. Like, I still remember all the backlash that Hogwarts Legacy itself was facing. Well, not real backlash, obviously, but, you know, like all the keyboard warriors, as they call them, where, you know, don't buy this game, don't support it, don't stream it, don't do this. And like, it broke every fucking record that there was to break. So yeah, this game will too. Shout out to J.K. Rowling. Thank you for giving us Harry Potter. I love you, baby.
All right. Nintendo confirms the successor to the Nintendo Switch will be backwards compatible. So no timeline when that's coming out, but yeah.
Who gives a fuck? Nintendo, bitch.
Uh-oh.
You and Sony, bitch. You see, you fucking Japanese, Asian companies. You know what? Let me be quiet before I say something crazy. But goddamn, like these niggas think they can just do whatever they want, bro. Like Nintendo, the fact that Nintendo took forever to upgrade to HD, which was in the Wii U. That's what it's called, right? Wii U. Yeah, the Wii U version, by the way, which is in like 2012. Nigga, we had HD gaming in 2006. These niggas took like 6 years to go over to HD. And then they're going to have the nerve to take like another 20 to get online gaming. Like, online gaming is like relatively new in Nintendo, bro. Like, we've had online gaming since Xbox, nigga. Xbox, like 2002. And Nintendo's just like, we don't need that shit. We're Nintendo. And it's just another example of Nintendo just doing whatever the fuck they want to do. We don't need to be backwards compatible. Who cares if the PS2 was backwards compatible with the PS1? Who cares if the PS3 could play PS2 and PS1 games? Who cares if the 360 could play Xbox games? We don't need that shit. We're Nintendo. We do what we want.
No, I said it will be compatible.
I understand. My point is they don't care. Like it took them so long to make a backwards compatible console. Like,
gotcha.
Come on, bro.
That's not really true because I mean, you could play Game Boy Advance games and Game Boy SP.
Nigga, we're talking about handhelds. We're talking about handhelds, nigga.
Okay, sorry. Anyway,
shit out of here. No, that's another thing. No, let me stop.
but actually, fuck Nintendo. You're right though, because apparently I've been paying $2.99 on internet for like the last 4 years. I didn't know. I've been like
internet.
I found out for the Switch. I had internet because I used to play Mario Kart. And I haven't played it in like 4 years. And apparently they've been charging me every month for the last 4 years. So yeah, I should check my account more, I guess.
You should.
When you have it, you don't have to. Mass Effect. All my fans of Mass Effect. Live action series officially in development at Amazon. I'll let y'all do what that news with y'all will. I know it has a fan base, obviously, but
yeah, it has a huge fan base. So, yeah. I mean, you know, I dabbled in Mass Effect. It was just too grand for me. At the young age, I was like 12 trying to play like this open world game. I was just like, I need something more linear, brother. Like I can't do this at 12. Maybe I should revisit those now. But anyway, yeah, I'm sure Mass Effect is going to be cool movie wise. So
series,
there it is. Let's do it.
Review time. Did you finish any shows or any movies?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I finished. What did we just do? What did we just talk about?
My Hero season 7 review, guys, out now on YouTube.
Yeah, so I guess I'll skip that. Yeah. And Agatha All Along. Okay. It's out. It's done.
You finished any movies?
I did. I finished Heretic was the movie I watched.
Cool. So I watched that as well. I'll squeeze in my Outer Banks, and then we can do Agatha together, and then we'll go to our movies. So Outer Banks season 4 out now. The second half of the season just dropped. This show. I've been on record saying I love Outer Banks and how I'm such a huge fan of the show. This season, I think season 3 is still peak. Season 4 in particular, though, is a digression in my opinion, for sure. I think that it's starting to easily become noticeable how recyclable things are. In terms of, we got characters whose dads come into the fold who are just bad guys. At first it was Sarah and Rafe and dad, and then it was John B's dad, and now it's JJ's dad. And it's just very recyclable, and the plot is almost paper thin, almost horrible writing at this point. But the saving grace of this show continues to be the cast. I think it's one of the best casts on TV from a chemistry and charisma standpoint. Like, I love the cast so much. Like, I want to be a part of this friend group. Like, literally, I watch their interviews on YouTube that you can just tell these group of friends like love each other, and that really just translates on screen. Like, it can make something that's not good technically, from a technicality standpoint, it can make it very, very watchable. Yeah, man. And in a perfect world, we have the character Rafe, which I'm sure you have no idea who that is, Julian. He's been the antagonist for a long time, and now it's almost like a Prince Zuko situation in Avatar. He's kind of joining the team now, so that's going to add a whole new dynamic in the next season. I think that this is going to be interesting because they had the balls to kill off a major character this season, which I didn't think they could do, because these kids are getting in so much trouble every season. Like, the stakes are getting crazy, unrealistically high. And I think that the character that they killed off this season, I'm not going to spoil who it is the heart of the show. And so I'm very interested to see how this final season, which comes out last year, will move directionally, because that was a big loss. I mean, I give them kudos. I always give shows kudos when they kill off their characters, but this is going to be an interesting one because, I don't know how they're going to navigate without him, because he or her. So we will see. Overall, I give this season a B minus. I mean, it's not great at all. It's like I said, the saving grace is the cast. But it's one of those shows I can just watch and throw on whenever because I love watching them. So yeah, let's talk Agatha All Along. Please give me your review.
Money, I would love to hear your thoughts on this first, seeing as how you've been shitting on it essentially every time we've talked about it. So let me know. Hopefully the finale saved it. So give me your thoughts.
So yeah, this show stars Kathryn Hahn. I was very excited prior to the show's release about just getting into the magic side of the MCU. It's a side that isn't really delved into a lot.
Okay,
our only exposure to it is basically Doctor Strange movies and WandaVision, I guess. So I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. I love magic.
Okay.
Shut the fuck up. And I do think that I love magic. I do think that Agatha Harkness's or Kathryn Hahn's portrayal of her in WandaVision, I was like, you know what? She's kooky enough. She has a eclectic personality. I can see her having her own show. Sure. Let's see what that's about. And what's weird is that they seem to so much deviate from that in this show. Like her saving grace in WandaVision was her over the top zaniness, cartoon villainy, which I was like, that's the selling point. That's the show. They really kind of diluted that down, and she's much, I hate to say, boring. And so I was like, okay, you know what? If she's gonna be boring, at least there'll be somebody in the cast who I can ride for at least. You know, have somebody that can. And no, there wasn't a single person in this cast that was compelling. Now I want to say this.
Wow,
I might be in the minority. I think because people have been. I've been seeing my mutuals on TikTok who do comic book reviews and all that kind of stuff. They've been loving the show. So
okay,
I feel like I'm in like
anything, but all right.
I mean, but if everybody's saying something, it's got to mean something, right? But anyway. Billy, I thought he was annoying as hell. I didn't like him. And well, if there's one character I like, it's Lilia. I think that she was the one I was like, okay, I can get behind her. I really appreciate her character. I liked how she had a really cool arc. So I'll say that. Not everybody. I am glad that the show kind of leaned into her villainy instead of making her an anti-hero, but then towards the end, she did become an anti-hero. So I was like, okay, whatever. That's just so fucking stupid. And I started to notice that episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6, it felt very directionless in terms of the cast. Like it almost felt like they were improvising without any direction, and like it just felt weird. Like but then obviously towards the end there is a direction. We see all things kind of come together in the puzzle piece. But this middle section of this show is just so hard for me to watch. I was like, these actors are just riffing. Like what's going on here? And they weren't fun enough to riff for. I love Aubrey Plaza. Her as death, I don't blame Aubrey Plaza. I just blame the writing. I'm like, okay, I don't want to see death again in the MCU. I'm not begging for that character to come back. That's just my opinion, guys. Now there are some cool things. I thought the whole lore of the road was really, really cool. I thought that there were some reveals towards the end. I was like, okay, you know what? That kind of perked my ears up a little bit. That's kind of cool. But it's a funny story. Like when I found out the end, like the finale was 2 episodes instead of 1. I had the biggest tantrum ever. Like, oh my god! Like, 2 of these fucking episodes. I was like, bruh. I was hate watching those last 2 episodes. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. So overall, man, I give the show. I give it a C. I think it's average as hell. It was saved by anything by those last couple episodes where a lot of the reveals and twists happened that they thought were just so grandiose. But overall, man, I think this is probably my least favorite live action MCU show to date. And it's not like it's almost the opposite of Outer Banks. Like it's really good from a technical, like it's really good technically. It's shot well. It's got good acting, all that kind of stuff. But I just don't care about any of the characters. I'm not invested in anybody. I don't care if they had died. I didn't care if there were deaths just like that. Outer Banks is the complete opposite. It's not a good show, but I love the characters. I love the cast. So that's just my opinion on Agatha All Along. I'd love to hear your thoughts now.
Okay. So here's the thing, for anybody that's watching for the first time, or maybe you're not caught up with what we do here. I did not like Kathryn Hahn's performance in WandaVision. I thought that the kooky, over the top, cartoony villain shit was awful. I was just like, I don't want to see this ever again. So when this character got named to have a TV show, I was not excited. I was just like, oh boy, yay, Agatha All Along. I love that. And man, like I was pleasantly surprised to an extent. The middle part that you didn't like, that was tough to get through, was the best part of the series for me. I enjoyed the little tasks. I enjoyed everybody together. I enjoyed that cast of characters doing something. To me, when it felt directionless and aimless, was the beginning and the end. Even though we get the reveals, it just felt like it kind of felt like this is what they wanted to tell all along. and like the middle part wasn't supposed to matter, but like I enjoyed the middle part more. Like by the time I got to the finale, I was kind of just like, I wasn't hate watching, but I was just like, okay. The road thing was cool. I was like, okay, I dig it. Like, fuck yeah. Like, I love that. That's a cool little twist. But really, nothing else landed for me in terms of like, wow, ooh, oh, wow, oh, I can't wait for this. Oh man, yeah. But so like going through the middle part of this when everybody was getting picked off one by one, it was like man, like I'm loving these characters. Like I'm like even Agatha is like, I was like, yeah, like I want everybody together. Like stop dying. Like it felt like every single episode somebody was dying. Like from Mrs. Hart to whoever. And I was just like, damn. And then episode 7 to me really stood out, which was the Lilia episode. It was a really good episode. I thought the writing and storytelling was really good. And like her face as she was falling, just like, holy shit, like okay, like this is some good shit here. Billy, I didn't care.
Did you like him?
Did I like him like as a actor or character?
As a character, yeah, as a character.
He was fine, sure.
I found him to be very unlikable. That's just me though.
Unlikable, okay. I mean, he didn't stand out to me, but
they tried making it his show in the back half, basically.
They did, yeah. They did.
Fucking Billy all along.
They tried. They tried. But yeah, I mean, he was kind of he was just fine, which I think for like purists of like that character, maybe that's just not good enough. And obviously they're trying to build to more with Billy and Tommy and Agatha's ghost. So we'll see. But yeah, look. Overall, the show is still hella average. Like I would not ever recommend this to anybody ever, literally. But I do think that it is like I thought that this was going to be abysmal. Like I thought this was going to be like I'm struggling to watch this bad. And it got that way towards the end, but the middle, I think episodes 3 through 7 really saved it for me. So the show is still a C. It's not better than a C. That's just my opinion. Yeah. And everybody that's loving it, man, good. Like I'm glad you love it, I guess. But you're wrong. This show is not better than a C. So yeah.
That's very interesting how we have like the inverse. Like I thought that they had a good setup with Agatha and being a detective and her being thrust into this world, and the ending was cool. But you thought that was the worst parts of the show. That's interesting. Yeah. Also, I think Marvel has a huge problem, or the MCU has a huge problem with them trying to shoehorn these young Avengers into movies and shows. Like it literally depletes whatever thing that they're in. Like the whole thing with, I thought the worst part of Wakanda Forever, I think it's a really good movie, is the Ironheart stuff. The worst part of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is the America Chavez stuff. And same thing here. I think the worst part of this show is the Billy stuff. They're trying to just shoehorn these young Avengers in for their own franchise, but like you're literally suffocating everybody else in your show where it's supposed to be that focuses on them. I thought it was handled very well in Hawkeye. I'm not gonna lie. I thought the Hawkeye handoff was very, very well done in my opinion with Haley Steinfeld. But other than that, I haven't really seen it done well. So that's just my opinion. Also, Disney. Once again, I'm gonna shit on you guys. You guys with this inclusivity stuff, this pandering, it's getting out of hand. In terms of now, I have no hate towards the LGBTQ plus community, but even with the Acolyte, it was very apparent. And now in this show, you guys are trying to, it doesn't feel natural where you guys are squeezing in these characters. And even the whole thing when Agatha was back in the day, and we had Black people in a pilgrim town, like that might seem like something that you just gloss over, like, Monty, shut the fuck up, like, but that matters. Like, Black people would not be in that town integrated, is so interwoven in that town back in pilgrim days. Like, what the fuck? Actually, now I think about it, were African Americans even over here at that point? Or were we still just slaves? Like I don't know. That kind of stuff bothers me. Anyway, moving on. So you say you watched Heretic. I did as well. I watched 2 other movies, so I'll squeeze in Heretic. First review, guys, is for a movie called Honora, which is out now in theaters, written and directed by Sean Baker. Stars Mikey Madison, who, Nick, she one of them actresses that when you watching the movie, you gotta pull up your Instagram real quick, look her up. Like, okay, follow you. She doesn't have an Instagram though. Anyway, but this is the movie about the stripper who works, and this guy comes into a strip club and falls in love with her, but he's part of like this Russian oligarchy, where his parents are not approving of him marrying a stripper.
I remember seeing the trailer for this.
Yeah. So this is a very, very explicit movie in terms of sex, nudity, drugs, that kind of stuff you don't like, I know. But I'll say in this case, I vouch for it. It's very, very necessary to really thrust you into the world of what sex workers are a part of. It's very in your face, but it totally makes sense in this movie, to be honest. And I think it has one of the best scenes of the year without spoilers. There's a scene with 3 men coming to this house for the first time. And it's just a very hectic scene. A lot of energy is in it. And that movie kind of maintains that kind of energy throughout the entirety of the movie. I was having such a blast with this movie, guys. This is just a really, I had so much, I think it was a comedy, but I guess it is kind of a comedy when you go into it and see it. It's just a very like balls to the wall from start to finish. And I really enjoyed it. However, I found myself asking myself in the third act of the movie, like, okay, Sean Baker, what's the point of this movie? Like, we're having fun, strippers, sex, drugs. Like, what's the point though? I'm lost on that. I know that you're a good enough director to have some kind of intentionality behind everything that you do. And it all came together in the last scene of the film. If you watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about. It all came together and made total sense to me. I thought it was a very powerful moment. It's one of those scenes where like the entire crowd, like we're all having fun, and all of a sudden you can just feel it getting quiet. Everybody kind of processing what's happening, what's going on. And when the credits start rolling, it's just silent because we're all like thinking, okay, that was really, really a really impactful moment. It kind of puts all the pieces of the puzzle together. So overall, man, I think it's one of the better films of the year. Nora, it's getting a lot of Oscar buzz. So I gave it a B+. I think it's a really, really good film. I think you should check it out.
B+.
Next review is for A24's newest horror film, Heretic. Lee, I love your thoughts.
Yeah. A24 is interesting. I think that they try to be different, which, you know, it's good. It's good and it's bad. Like it's good. It's good to try to be different because especially, you know, for me, like I always complain about these fucking cookie cutter films or these films where it's just regurgitation or, you know, something that happened 20 years ago and then we're going to make another thing about it. So it's really good that the A24 tries to be different in almost everything they do. I really appreciate that. But there are times when like you're going so far past trying to be different that it's just like it becomes preachy or pretentious. Like in, you know, one of your favorite words, like there were multiple points throughout this movie where I was just like, okay, can we get to it? Like, I get that you're trying to teach these girls a lesson, but like, can we get to it? We
teach
shouldn't
the girls
have spent,
a lesson and in turn teach the audience a lesson. Well, like being preachy, what you're trying to say. Yeah,
exactly. There was no reason for us to spend an hour and 10 minutes on this buildup of what we saw we were going to get, and that was my biggest problem with the film. We could have spent 20 and then spent, you know, 30 to 40 in the thing and then wrapped it up. But this movie was just too long. Like it was just too long. There's a lot of dialogue, and you know, sometimes that's not a bad thing. But in this instance, in my opinion, it was. Now I do think that everybody involved, as far as the 3 main actors anyway, were really good here. Like I think that we're getting some really good performances, especially from Hugh Grant and I can't remember the white girl's name anyway, but they were, all 3 of them in my opinion were really, really good throughout the entirety of this film.
I agree.
But there are times when like, okay, we're going in a direction and, you know, we're going to have twists and turns. And then when things don't land, it's just like, and that's pretty much what it was for me ultimately. I can appreciate what they were trying to do. I can appreciate the comparisons and the similarities that they were trying to make to religion, and to control ultimately. Like I get it. None of that went over my head. But there were just so many times where I was just like, bro, like, can we, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but like, can we get to the killing? Like, can we get to it, bro? Like, I need to see something actually happen. Like there was just so much dialogue where it was just, it low-key was boring to an extent at a certain point. I was just like, man, like, and then like they tried to get like mystic like towards the end. I was like, wait a minute, like this what are we doing? And then obviously like they like dispelled that, but it was like some crazy turns that wouldn't happen in like a traditional film. But I'm going to put the blame on A24 here for trying to be different so much that they're just trying to do all these twists and turns. Like, I got you. And it's just like, oh, can we just tell the story, please? But that's my opinion. I thought that this was basically average. If the performance if the performances weren't as good as they were, this would be a bad movie in my opinion. But I think that the performances were able to take this movie and make it something, because there is something here. Like, I don't want to say that this movie doesn't have a message, that this movie doesn't have a meaning, because it absolutely does. But I personally didn't need to be drilled like that to get the point. Pause. So yeah, okay. I give it a C. This is average, in my opinion.
Okay, I enjoyed it more than you. Hugh Grant, I thought I was so excited to see him in a role like this, because I've never seen him do anything like this. He's always been kind of like relegated to comedies and rom-coms. I just had a sneaky suspicion he would knock it out of the park based on the trailers, and he did. Man, I thought he was the movie. Hugh Grant was absolutely stellar in this film, in my opinion. So it was very evident as well that the writers and directors of this movie, Scott Beck and Brian Woods, have a deep fascination with religion, and more importantly, how it's deconstructed and how it's been, I guess, like over the years, I guess, like what's the word? How it's been weaponized, I guess, against the people. I thought that was really, really cool. And I thought just the idea from a conceptual standpoint of what if a theologist was a serial killer and his victims were people who were very, very religious. That's a very kind of butting of heads of two different ideologies there. So I thought that was already off the top just really, really cool conceptually. Now, as a Christian man myself, I found myself thinking, I'm scared to use the word I'm scared to use the word questioning.
Watch your mouth now.
but which is I love
that's the point of the movie.
I love
to an
it.
Extent.
I loved it, and I found myself thinking, not questioning, quit thinking. And I think it's definitely, I can see how somebody who is very religious, like if my grandma saw this movie, she would walk out and like fucking shoot up the fucking theater. Like
damn, wait a minute, shoot up the theater is crazy.
I'm joking, but she would be so mad. But I think I can see people watching this movie, people who are religious, being like very either offended by this movie or empowered on the other end, which is a very interesting line to toe. If you watch the movie, then I think you can look at it two different ways. Which I think the writers are doing a very good job at that. So I think it's definitely the most thought-provoking horror film of the year for sure. And I think it's a masterclass in tension as well. There's some very, very tense moments. Now, did they hold that tension too long at points? I agree with you. They did. They did hold that tension a little bit. Sometimes you got to release that tension, but there were some very good moments of tension. So overall, I give it a B. I think this is a good horror film. I think it's a well crafted film, in my opinion. So I can see how somebody like yourself could have those complaints that you had. But yeah, Heretic, B for me. Last review, guys, from a movie standpoint, is for Juror Number 2. This is the new movie out right now, directed by Clint Eastwood, starring Nicholas Hoult, in which there's a guy who's on jury duty for a murder that he committed a year prior. So right there, that's the selling point. I was like, this is a crazy concept. I'm so here for it. Now, to me, the selling point, once this established already, which is early on in the film, and if you see the trailer, you see it in the trailers, it kind of evolves into just a very standard courtroom drama, which I was very saddened by, because I was like, man, you have a great hook there. Let's bring it on home. And Clint Eastwood's a very good director at 94 years old, still directing. But overall, I think the point that I have the biggest problem with, besides the fact that it just became very standard and basic, is Nicholas Hoult, of all people. I think that he's a fine actor, but I think that he's very much so better in an ensemble. I've always said this. I don't think he's a leading man. I think we see patterns of other people also feeling that way in Hollywood. Like, remember I just said, like, he was almost Superman in the James Gunn movie, but they chose David Cornswell. He was almost Batman and Matt Reeves, but they chose Robert Pattinson. I just don't think he's a leading man, and I've never seen him be he's not bad at all. I've never seen him be a compelling leading man in any movie that he's been in. My favorite movie of his is called Warm Bodies. It's a zombie movie, but that movie was even upholstered by his co-star Teresa Palmer, I believe. So. I think it kind of starts and ends with him and how compelling he is. But overall, man, I gave it like a C. It's pretty average. I was in a theater full of all old people, so maybe that's the demographic of this movie. They seem to be enjoying it. I can just tell by like their little dialogue and commentary between different scenes. So maybe I'm in the minority, but this has felt like almost like a made-for-TV courtroom movie, to be honest, at points. Which it just has some big names in, like Toni Collette, J.K. Simmons, and so yeah, kind of disappointing in my opinion. Last segment here, guys, just tidbitties. Number 1, Bruce Willis was originally set to star as John Wick early on in the first film's development. Interesting. I could have seen it, but I'm so glad they chose Keanu. Context is everything, obviously.
But, I was about to say.
And plus, Bruce Willis, he's not in the right mental shape to even be doing these movies right now anyway. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Both seasons. Both seasons. Both seasons of the animated show Arcane apparently cost $250 million overall to make. Guys, this is a show that I want Julian to watch so bad. I think it's one of the best animated shows of all time after just one season. Season 2 drops, I believe, next week. But this makes it the most expensive animated series of all time. And I think you can tell by the animation is fucking gorgeous. So I'm so excited for season 2. But then again, I love Blue Eye Samurai and Julian didn't, so maybe he won't like it. But Arcane, guys, cost a lot of money, and I can see where the money's going. It's amazing animation. The budget for Mission Impossible 8 nears $400 million, which is insane. Paramount wants to market the film as the last entry in the Mission Impossible franchise to boost public interest, but Tom Cruise is against it, as he would like to continue the franchise into his 80s, he said, which is like, yikes.
Into his 80s?
I'm like, into his 80s. I'm like, nigga, at that point, is the mission even impossible? It seems very possible, very doable. So what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I stopped watching these a while ago. To be honest, I liked the first few.
Yeah, but I like all of them. I just stopped watching like Ghost Protocol, I think.
Yeah, I have not seen them in a while, and I really don't plan to go back and watch them, honestly. So yeah. I don't know. I mean, they must be like smash hits at the box office because Tom Cruise is like, yeah, we're doing it, bitch. And you got to listen to him, I guess. So,
I mean, having the budget be that much already tells you that the studio believes in it. $400 million, and that's not even including marketing or whatever. So, yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
AMC CEO Adam Aaron says that he has heard that Moana 2 could even be a bigger success than Inside Out 2. Now, keep in mind, Inside Out 2 is currently the highest grossing animated film of all time. And based on pre-ticket sales and the fact that Moana 1 is the most watched movie of all time within the last 5 to 10 years, he's thinking that
bigger than Frozen?
He's thinking that this could be bigger than even Inside Out 2, which is the most. So, big, high expectations for Moana, which I will be watching in theaters. So I'm excited to see it. But
cool.
Yeah. Last part here is I have the list for the current highest paid actresses under 30 years old. I have the top 6. Can you guess 3 of them out of the 6 before I list them off?
Tom Holland, Zendaya.
Actresses.
Zendaya.
Yes.
Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega.
Ortega, yeah.
Is Johnny Depp's daughter under? Nah, I don't know. No, yeah, her.
Anyway, at number 6, Anya Taylor-Joy, $1.8 million, which her last thing is Furiosa. Jenna Ortega at number 5, $6 million. Number 4, Florence Pugh at $7 million. Number 3, Sydney Sweeney, $7.5 million average pay. Number 2, which is a surprise to me, Millie Bobby Brown at $10 million. That's crazy. She shouldn't do anything outside of Netflix, it feels like, but hey, I guess they're paying her. And number 1 is Zendaya, also at $10 million as well. So, but she's having a crazy big year. She's doing Dune 3, Spider-Man 4, and the Chris Nolan film next year. Like, that's insane. So, and Euphoria season 2. She's season 3. So, yeah,
get that money.
She'll be working.
Yeah, Rue. Get that money.
Yeah.
Euphoria season fucking 3. Guys, make sure you like the video. Comment down below for Monty's question. What was the question, Monty?
A Game of Thrones movie. Do you guys rather see Jon
Snow?
Jon Snow's story continue or Aegon's conquest?
Yes, and make sure you subscribe to the Current Era Pod. Monty, you're the best. Thank you.
Thank you.